Is it harder to play the bad guy than it is the good guy?
Nah, you know what? Playing the bad guy is easy. I like playing it now that they actually let me create my own bad guy. Back in the day, one of my first guest stars on CSI New York, and I went to the director and I was like, I just don't want to be, your normal New York stick-up kid. Freeze, give me the money, empty the register.
Right.
He's like, yeah, which one? I was like, I don't know. I want to be on some Tarantino crazy, whatever. He was like, all right, let me think about that, Cisco. So boom, we get the set, and he's like, all right, I gave you what you wanted. I was like, whoa, what's going on? He's like, all right, he's going to go around and tell him to empty the register, but you just start shooting up the place. You just, first you go see if there's a 40, and then you're like, boom, 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 boom. And they had these squibs underneath the wine bottles, and the whole place was just exploding up. But I knew they were probably like, this was a bad idea, because every take they had to like clean up the actual wine, the glass, and reset them. But it was fun as hell for me.
Yeah. Yo, hello, and welcome to the Baddest Goodest Show, where Hollywood's villains, the nastiest to the meanest to the most evil, man, woman, creator, writers, all of that. But guess what? Once you turn that camera off, they all down to earth, the nicest people that you ever want to meet. They're my friends. So, you got to bring your friends out here. So we're going to have a good time. I am your man, your host, Vincent M. Ward, a.k.a. Oscar, a.k.a. Devereaux, a.k.a. Well, you get the picture. Today, my very first guest, man. This guy, he's a writer, he's a director, he's an actor, he's a father. We go way back, like we just talked about, man. My man Cisco Reyes. You know him from the Chosen King. You know him from A House Divided, Four Kings. You know him as Jesus or Jesus from one of I love this movie. I love his character in it called Next Day Air. My man Cisco was a friend of mine. What up, though?
Still am, baby. Still am.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing, man?
Man, we here, man. We been here for a minute.
We here.
You're originally from New York City.
That's right. Westchester, New York, baby.
So, when did you get out here, man?
Whew. About to date me, huh?
Yeah.
I got out here in 98. Yeah.
So what was the hardest thing about making that transition to L.A.?
You know what? Just coming out here solo. No friends. It's funny because all my friends were always like, yo, so what are you going to do? Who's going to listen to your stupid jokes? You don't have like friends like us. You know what I mean? You don't have no support system. I was like, you know what? I got to do what I got to do, baby. You know what I mean? My support system is God, and, I'll laugh at my own jokes because I do anyway. So, but then I came out here and I teamed up with a crew, and and that's been family ever since. So
I don't think
people like yourself.
I don't think people realize the hardest thing about coming out here is staying out here. That whole faith and not knowing the not knowing part. Because like you said, a lot of us moved out here. So I came out here in 2000, and you don't know what to turn to, who to believe, because a lot of people ain't who they say they are.
Nah, a lot of smoke and mirrors out here, baby.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. So when you was in New York, were you doing any acting there?
Yeah. So I was coming out of Morgan State University. I just got my film degree, and I had started doing independent films all the way from Baltimore to New York. And, I knew everybody that I admired, looked up to, and I did all my research. I was like, everything's out here. Right. So I knew sooner or later I was going to have to come out here. So you know what? I just said, I sold all my stuff, came out here with $1 and a dream, and, just made it happen instead of waiting until... I made sure I built up my resume, got a reel. I didn't want to come out here butt naked, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just get out here and be like, okay, now what do I do?
Right.
I made sure that I did it right. And, yeah, I've been here ever since. But I've seen a lot of talented people come and go, man.
Oh yeah,
You know.
oh yeah. They don't understand. Hey, everything doesn't happen overnight. You
Nah.
know, some people want to straddle that fence or do something strange for a little piece of change, but
Right.
you got to keep it moving. Because I do know this. Like, it's 3 cities, 3 states that people always say if you want to be an actor and actress, it's either L.A., Atlanta, and New York. But you was already in New York, so
Yeah, well, and on top of that, Atlanta didn't even exist.
Yeah,
back
that's
then,
true.
You know what I mean? So it was either New York, and if you were in New York and you already did, I guess back in the day, if you already did Law and Order, if you already did The Sopranos,
right.
if you were in Baltimore, you already did The Wire, or whatever was going on. As soon as you did those shows, you were done. You can't just keep on showing up as the guy that
Right.
got killed.
Right.
you know what I mean? So you sooner or later you're gonna have to come out here anyway.
Yeah.
Or Broadway, if you had a
Yeah.
good career there.
Because that's kind of like where we met. It wasn't Broadway. It was.
It was
I don't want
it
to.
was hard way.
So we were supposed to be doing a play together, and the guy,
Right.
the smoke and mirrors once again, and so
Or was that horror movie? And we were supposed to film it in Fresno, and he had us rehearsing. Was that it? Either way, it was. This dude had us jumping through hoops, and me and Vince kept on looking at each other like,
yeah.
I don't know how many times I'm going to be showing up to Santa Clarita to be rehearsing for something that may not happen.
But that's the thing. As time goes on, you learn. Everybody ain't who they say they are.
Nah.
A lot of times you see people that you might be thinking that they really out here doing it.
Yeah.
They ain't doing it like you claiming to be. But we didn't have social media back then like that
True
neither
that.
though. So what you working on now?
Oh, I got a few things bubbling on the pots, but
Okay.
most recently I have a film coming out on Tubi TV called Picture Me Dead. It drops either tonight at 10 or tomorrow. And it stars Malik Whitfield, very talented cat
Oh,
from the
man,
Bronx. Everybody knows Malik Whitfield.
Yes, sir.
And Erica Mena.
Erica been doing her thing too,
She's been
man.
doing her thing,
She's
man.
getting away from the whole reality show stuff.
Yeah,
and
well, she's
really-
still doing that,
Yeah, but
'cause,
the
I mean,
actor
it's just-
side is like,
right.
oh, okay.
Yeah, she got like at least 8, 9 films underneath
Yeah.
her belt, and yeah, she's doing it. She plays a DA. Malik plays a serial killer photographer. I played like the main detective. It's a thriller. It's a really good watch, and I think y'all gonna like it. So make sure y'all watch it on Tubi. It's free, no excuses. You don't have to sign up.
Right.
You don't got to pay for it. Make us #1. And that comes out, like I said, tonight and tomorrow. Either
Yeah.
way, the 13th, it'll be there. So
But what's crazy for something you just said, you had to say that it's free.
yeah,
It's
right.
free.
Because
And
people don't want to come out their
Oh,
pocket if they gotta
my
support you
God.
with money. It's like,
how does that make you feel, especially when it's like somebody that you know or people that you're tight with when it comes to supporting? Because I always feel like people will support people that they don't know more than the people that they do know.
right. Yeah,
How do you post something on your social media about this person that you don't know, but you've been knowing me for 20-some years,
Right.
but you don't talk about my project? How does that make you feel?
Like they go to the movies and pay $25, $50 to see something that might be trash, opposed to, let me just watch this because I want to support him. Or
Exactly.
or that's the homie. Or I've been to his crib and ate his jerk chicken.
Right.
Yeah, I've been to his crib and for game night, and I ain't had to bring nothing. I showed up empty-handed.
Right.
It's sad, but you know what? It just is what it is. It's not going to stop my hustle. The most I can do is put it in front of you, give you the information, and shoot, there's people that's literally are just seeing next day air. I've been meaning to
And
watch
it's a
that
classic.
Cisco. I'm like, meaning to watch. It's on HBO. Like
Right.
it's been on so many days. That's cool. Oh, I finally saw it. It's so good. Be like, okay, what, 15 years later?
And I think the thing that bothers me with something you just said too, when you know where I live, so I'm bringing you around my girl, my son, my family,
Family,
you know
bring you
my
into my
address,
space, yep.
you in my space, but yet you're not really in my space.
Right.
Right. Because you're not supporting my space. But, that's
those are the same people that don't even just double click like. I mean, I double click like just because, that's the homie. Even if I was, okay, I already saw that, or he double posted that. I'll double like it twice.
Right.
Because that's family right there. That's support is so little, and people just don't know how to do it, I don't know. Cisco, another post. Another movie. We've seen you act before. But yeah, here come the girl with the bubble butt. Ooh,
right.
Yeah, let me like that real quick.
Right.
That's funny. That little kid fell off a wall.
Right.
Double like that. A kitten. Double like that. Cisco's movie? Man, he always got a movie coming out. And it's like, huh?
Yeah, and the longer we get in this game, the more it's just like, all right, who's who, kind of, or you might not.
Yeah, not.
So I know one of the things that people always laugh at is your laugh.
Yeah, I've
your
been
laugh
that for a while.
and you, every time I see you laugh, you have a good time. Everybody loves you. But you play these bad guys. Do you have to go to a whole different place, or do you like playing the bad guy? And is it harder to play the bad guy than it is the good guy?
Nah, you know what? Playing the bad guy is easy. It's because just think, growing up joking around all the time, you always, acting like the bad guy, or making fun of the bad guy or the bullies. That was one thing that all the bullies, and I turn into them and just make them look stupid.
Right. Right.
And just mocking them. And they be like, stop doing that. See, now that's the reason why I'm going to kick your butt, man. I'd be like, you're going to kick my butt, man? He's like, and then so I just took that and then turned it into, the guy on TV.
Right.
It's I like playing it now that they actually let me create my own bad guy. They let me dictate how this bad guy acts, and opposed to being just a regular, even when I did back in the day, one of my first guest stars on New York, CSI New York, and I went to the director and I was like, I just don't want to be, your normal New York stick-up kid. Freeze, give me the money, empty the register.
Right.
He's like, yeah, which one? I was like, I don't know. I want to be on some Tarantino crazy, whatever. He was like, all right, let me think about that, Cisco. So boom, we get the set, and he's like, all right, I gave you what you wanted. I was like, what's going on? He's like, all right, he's going to go around and tell him to empty the register, but you just start shooting up the place. You just, first you go see if there's a 40, then you're like, boom, 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 boom. And they had these squibs underneath the wine bottles, and the whole place was just exploding up. But I knew they were probably like, this was a bad idea, because every take they had to like clean up the actual wine, the glass, and reset them. But it was fun as hell for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes for me, it's harder to play the good guy. It don't seem like anybody likes the good guy for some reason.
Yeah, the good guy, because sometimes I feel like, is this guy, just like the guy next door? Is he cool? Is he, is he like that Bill Bellamy, how he used to play his guys? Like, is he corny? Is he like, it's so there's so many different levels to a good guy, and sometimes you don't know how to approach it, depending on the whole tone of the film. But the good guy, if he's a cartel leader, I'd be like, all right, this is the cartel leader I want to play, or this is the gang leader, or however, or the murderer. This is how I want to play him. And you can actually get into it a little bit more and give him little nuances and different quirks. But the good guy is like, okay.
The corny over the top guy, that's the one I can't do, man. Yeah, I can't do it, man. I've had auditions for like Nickelodeon and stuff like that. When you be like, hey, I ain't do. I can't do it. As soon as I see the audition, I'm like, I ain't gonna get this part.
You know what's crazy is I could do it, but my face can't.
Right.
My face is still They're like, he looks too menacing. I'm like, huh? I'm smiling, ain't I?
Right.
Because sometimes I'll be thinking I'm smiling in public, and they be looking at like, what's wrong?
Right.
I'll be like, what? I was smiling, wasn't I? But this little frown here just stays between my eyes, and
My mom, my parents, when I was younger, I had the same thing. Call it the meats. Every time I got mad, this part came up. And my mom be like, get that damn meat off your forehead.
I love it.
And now it's like every time I play that type of part, the meats come out.
Right.
I got the meats, man.
It works.
So do you think, let me ask you this, was Jesus or Jesus, bitch, do you consider him as a bad guy?
Nah. I mean,
I thought he was a hustler.
Yeah, he's more of your hustler who's kind of thrown into that, because the dude that he was working for,
was gangster.
He messed up, and then his boss got rid of him, and he's like, now you work for me.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay. But then at the same time, I was like, yeah, a Cali Connect. That's exactly what I need. He had his girlfriend. He hustled. But I don't think he was bad when he needed to.
Right.
Like when he knew his life was in danger, it's like, okay, I need survival mode kicked in.
He saw opportunity and he took advantage of it.
Right. He wasn't no punk.
Yeah, if you haven't seen this guy in Next Day Air, you are missing it. And I mean, it's more to him than just Next Day Air, because sometimes people just get stuck on one thing.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Right, exactly. House Divided.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you come across that? Because that's filmed in, like, what, Georgia somewhere? Or
No, they maybe they did the last season in Georgia, but at least 5 seasons were. I know they got 6 seasons, and I think 5 seasons were shot out here. Dan Garcia, shout out to him, he created that. Peter Wise, cast and director.
Oh, Peter.
That
guy, boy.
Long time friend, he's always...
Come to my class. I'll put you in something.
he's always looked out for you, boy. And I ended up as Tito up in there playing opposite Demetria McKinley, her old boyfriend.
Oh, Demetria, stay busy, boy.
Yeah, man. She's talented.
Yeah. Do you ever get scared playing any of these bad characters or anything? Or you ever ran across something you be like, damn, I don't know if I should have done that?
One time. Maybe 2. I'm only going to tell you about 1.
Okay.
But I think this flick with I think Erica Hubbard was in it, and Jay Holiday, and it was called School of Hard Knocks, and I had like a scene, and after I did that and watched playback, I was like, like I was like disgusted with myself, like just the scene. It just wasn't, I didn't like watching that. You know what I mean? Because just subject matter, and I've never had to do that, but just the thought of people seeing me like that. Could
you sleep the night before thinking about how the scene was gonna go, or was you worried about it, or you couldn't sleep?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like the way they, these indies, they set it up and was like, okay, here's how it's going to be. But they never said how it was going to be before we got there, Yeah, and I think, was it the end, towards the end of the movie? So it was, that was tough to watch.
Right.
And it was tough to play. Other than that, I've had some pretty much fun playing the good guy, even though at one point in my career when I was going to Beverly Hills Playhouse and Richard Lawson was my teacher, I went to him and I was like, yo, I'm getting tired of playing these bad guys. And I was like, how do I I want to play the boyfriend, I want to be the love interest, I want to play a lawyer, cop, doctor, I want to play those other characters. And he was like, well, let me ask you something, are you booking them? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, just keep on booking them, keep playing them until they give you a chance at something else, So just keep on playing those guys, because I mean, one thing about a bad guy is one either gets locked up or he dies.
Right.
So there's no chance if it's a movie for a sequel. There's no
Right.
chance.
You ain't coming back.
You know, if it's a TV show for another episode. You know, it's like there's no revisiting somebody who's dead or in jail.
Unless it's Oz.
Right. And then next thing you know, you in the jail.
Right.
But
you the one getting.
there's no progression. There's no like. And I'm like, damn, man. You know, look, Scarface is the greatest gangster on film. But we ain't gonna see no sequel.
Nah.
Not even from Manolo. You know what I mean? Like
So tell me about this Storytellers Program.
Ah.
You know, let's lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in something like that?
Man, you know what? I love giving back. I love you know, mentoring. I love kids. And at that particular time, I was saying to myself, I was like, I want to like volunteer somewhere. And I think I just got finished volunteering for Children's Alliance, which is a program where they take care of like group home kids, but they eventually age out of the group home and got to be on their own. So I taught them how to cook. Oh. And you know, they had this whole like full day of
chicken,
work. I actually taught them how to make something simple, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just like, so I think it was like an omelet, tacos, but really good stuff, and jambalaya. But after that, I was like, yo, I like this, and I want to keep on doing it. And I would like for it to be involving kids. And all of a sudden, just in my inbox, in my email, was like, sign up for Young Storytellers, be a mentor, teach fifth graders how to write scripts. And I was like, okay, God, good looking out. You know, yeah. I signed up for it immediately, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's been like maybe, I want to say 8-9 years. I've bounced around at different schools. Right now, we're at Coldwater Canyon Elementary. So we teach fifth graders how to write a 5-page script. We teach them all the elements of screenwriting, whether, you know, beginning, middle, end, lesson, resolution, you know, conflict, characters, setting. And at the end, real actors come in, like us, and act out their scripts on stage for them. Wow. So they get to see their script come to life. And it's really dope.
So if somebody wanted to get it, you know, be a part of something like that, where do they go?
You know, well, Young Storyteller Program is on Instagram. It's the way you can go to website. You could sign up either one to be a mentor to teach, and you don't have to have experience being a screenwriter. Shoot, sometimes people are there just brand new and they're just, you know, learning themselves. But at the same time, you know, it's all about connecting with the kids and pulling their idea. All we keep on asking is, and then what happened? And then what? We don't feed them ideas. So you might end up with like Mr. Hamburger Head becomes president. You know what I mean? And it turns out to be one of the funniest stories that you ever read. The coolest part about it is at the end, out of the 60 schools that participate, they pick 6 scripts and they bring it down to the Nokia Center. It's the biggest show. And people like Jordan Peele, you know, all types of different actors from Saturday Night Live and, you know, A-list actors, you know, come on stage and act out their script for them. And so that's really cool to watch.
And how did you hear about it?
ISA, International Screenwriter Association, that I subscribe to. It was just like in one of their email blasts, and that's how I ended up with it. But I mean, this program is sponsored by CAA, UTA, Disney, ABC, Blacklist. Yeah, it's well sponsored. It's very well put together. I would love to bring this program to like other countries.
I was about to ask you, how would you, if it was up to you, how would you take it to the next level? But go ahead. Yeah,
I would love to bring it because when I went to Puerto Rico, I mean, they could use something like that. You know, it's important to start them young, so by the time, you know, they get into high school or not even high school, by the time when they get to college, they already have a knowledge that they can write their own scripts. They can be a part of this industry and be, you know, already have that knowledge to be able to do what they want to do. and it's really cool because some of them come up with some really good stories, and I'm like, man, this could be like a Pixar cartoon.
Right.
You know, I was like, you know, when you get older, I'm gonna hit you up.
I'm gonna sign you.
Yeah, and we're both gonna turn this into a movie. But yeah, or they can always hit me up on social media, and I can send them to.
And what's your social media?
Cisco Reyes, CISCO REYES, across all platforms.
Yeah.
And you know, because people are always asking me how to get a part of that. And you know, you could either be a writer, like a mentor for the writing part of it, or you can be an actor. And I've done both.
I would
but
like to be
never
like something like that.
Did the act? You can't, as a mentor, you can't be an actor for your own kids, your own schools. So you know, you're just there as a mentor, but then other schools would be like, hey, we need actors. Yeah. And I did it, and it's a lot of fun. They make you audition. The kids make you audition.
What?
Yeah, you get up there and you be like, here are my special skills. Here's what I'm good at. I'm good at being a villain. I'm good at being a dad. I'm good at being, you know, a monkey, whatever that may be. And then like kids are like, okay, yeah, I want him to play the monkey president.
Oh, we can't get nothing for free. You got to audition for every damn thing.
Everything, man.
Jesus,
it's cold-blooded, baby.
Well, I do like what you said, you know, teaching the kids how to cook and all of the other stuff, which is very, very important, man. Because, you know, I didn't really learn how to cook until I was maybe 30. And I realized it's because I did it for the whole wrong reason. I knew because I started cooking because women liked it.
Well, then you should have started cooking earlier.
Right, but I wasn't thinking about that. I started watching G. Garvin. And I'm like, man, if you can read and you have a taste bud, then you should be able to cook, man. So
man, that saved me so much money coming up. Dates, what?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody being brought to Miestros and Chin Chin when you can come straight to Scozie's NoHo and get some good old Caribbean jerk chicken.
And you ain't got to go home after.
Arroz con condole, some empanadas. They be like, oh my gosh, you made this.
So did your parents teach you how to cook, or you just learn on the fly?
My mom, she had a catering company.
Oh,
and
you better know how to cook,
right? But at one point, like, I mean, I'm the last of 7. But at one point, since they were so much older than me, I was like kind of I want to say a latchkey kid at one point of my life. And I would come home, and there would be a dish with a note: preheat oven, 450, do this, mix this in, and blah blah blah. Then I got to college, and I got sick of eating ramen, and I was like, Mom, how do you make that dish that I love so much? And I'll be on the phone for 45 minutes like, okay, I think it's done. Gotta go. Bye. You know. So
look, man, we can't leave here without playing a little game. Today's game is roll with it or bounce. So I'm going to ask you a few of these questions, man, and you let me know if you roll with it or if you're going to bounce. So let me shuffle them up a little bit right here.
Here we go. All right.
Yeah.
Vincent Sajak.
Yes, sir. All right. They want to have a liposuction. Will you roll with it or will you bounce?
Am I allowed to ask, do they need it?
Hey,
because some people who want lipo don't need it. And I've had friends who don't need it, and they've been like, well, I'm getting it anyway. And I was like, yeah, well, you're just going to need it like again in 6 months if that's the case.
Because you got to exercise, you got to watch what you eat.
I mean, I roll with it because, you know, whatever makes them their mental health healthier, you know. It may just be some insecurities that they want to take care of, but I've seen it happen, and they didn't look any different, to be honest with you. It was like, and if you're not working out after your lipo, then, like I said, in 6 months, it's gonna be right back.
Exactly, it might look even worse.
Right.
All right, here's another question. They use too many emojis in your messages. Will you roll with it or will you bounce?
I'll roll with it because sometimes that might be me. I might be the one with too many emojis.
They're like, here you go with all them damn emojis again, but I like them.
I mean, I don't replace emojis with words or words with emojis, but you know, sometimes, you know, I gotta have my fist like, yeah, I stand by that one.
Right.
Oh, that's fire, a little fire,
Right.
and then let's keep it 100.
And thank goodness they have a spell check on everything nowadays, because you know.
Honestly, I got a new phone, man, and my last phone was right where I wanted it. It you know, I don't like putting G's on the end of words, like when it's working or whatever. I like just, you know, like the way I speak, it finally started typing the way I speak. Now I got a new phone, and so it constantly correcting me, and I'm like, that sounds corny, man. I was like, I don't speak like that. And so, like, it's taking some time for the phone to catch up to my lingo.
Right. I'm going to ask you one more question. Oh, this is a good one. They don't post you on social media. Roll with it or bounce.
And I'm assuming that's your significant
Yeah,
other.
exactly.
Yeah, you know what? That's a fine line, because, you know, if you met them and like that's the way their page is curated. I mean, if it's my birthday and it's a special day, yo, you better. Don't be Valentine's Day, you over there in the picture, and it's like the hand is cut out, but you're holding a hand, or just a picture of some flowers. You know what I mean? You better let these fools know who the man is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you've seen some videos or some pictures. It's clear that the person's out on a date.
Right.
They just show the food, but they won't show the person who they with.
Man, forget
And he probably the one, or well, vice versa. You know, that person's probably the one who paid for it.
Of course he is. Or forget a date. They be in Dubai. Like,
Right.
oh, look at me. Like, oh, but you're in Dubai by yourself. Really?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Who's taking the picture? You know what I mean?
You got a cameraman rolling with him,
right?
now?
You obviously with the Prince of Kuwait,
Right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you with the Sheik, somebody, whoever's paying for that date. You know? Yeah, nah. That's social media, man. That could be a very, very detrimental to many relationships. You know?
I always think it's the best and the worst thing ever created, man.
Right.
For the simple fact, it make people out to be something that they really aren't. So,
Oh my gosh.
So you got this little handsome guy. He's about to be 4 years old.
Yeah.
If he ever wanted to break into the industry, how would you feel about that?
What? He already got an agent.
Oh.
He got a Google account. He got his work permit. Actually, I gotta update it. But you know, it's funny because during my self tapes, like he'll be like, in order for him to stay quiet, I taught him like quiet on set, action, you know, stuff like that. So he'll stay quiet during my self tape auditions, and he'll do that. You know, and so it'll be like, okay, and quiet on set and action. And I'm doing a self-tape for like a commercial, just something I could do by myself. And he's like, okay, this time, Daddy, running quicker. I'm like, did this little director just direct me? I was like, running quicker? I was like, so I ran in quicker. He's like, okay, all right, this is the last one. You get one more, Daddy. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Oh, my goodness.
So I asked him, I was like, yo, do you want to like, you know, you like being an actor, or you like, because he's had in-person auditions and stuff like that. He's like, I like being a director.
Wow.
I was like, that's dope, because, you know, I'm starting them early, but there's times when he has those self-tape auditions and I'll leave her in charge of doing it for him. And I'll be like, what is this?
Right.
That's the best I could have got out of him. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh,
He's like,
man.
yeah, I guess I'm going to have to like do it next time.
Right.
You know, because I'm thinking it's just a simple, you know, little audition. He just has to sing Deck the Halls. And for a whole week, me and him are riding around, learning the song, get to him, and he's just...
He ain't remixed it.
He just pausing. He's like, he's got stage fright. I'm like, what did you can hear her in the background. That's not the way we rehearse. I'm like, yo.
We ain't getting this part.
Yeah, we're not getting this one, you know. But every time I
chopped
do
and screwed it.
like this kid looked like, you know, one of the little rascals.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm like, perfect. Good job.
It's like every time I go back home to Ohio, as soon as I get home, I got an audition. And who I have to do the audition with? My parents. My parents is worse than your son, man.
Yes.
My mom ain't got to the point where she be trying to tell me how to do it. And then she had tried to do the lines like she's acting them out. I'm like, Mom, just say the lines.
That's my sister and my brother. The last time I went back home and I had a self-tape, my sister, I don't understand why you got to do it like that. Why do you hold your face like that? Why? I was like, will you just let me, will you just read the lines? You know what I mean? You have no idea who this character is. You didn't do the script breakdown.
Right.
You didn't do the subtext. You know what I mean? Like,
man.
Well, if I were you, I would do it like this. I'd be like, man, I just want to get this done. Can you please just read the lines?
Indeed.
And stop acting, too. You're like, you're bad. You're horrible.
So what you got coming out, man? You got anything out? You writing anything? Or, what's happening?
Definitely writing, got a few TV shows I'm developing, and as well as some features. I don't write just one thing. I try to, whatever just speaks to me. I mean, shoot, I got a love story. I got a horror. I got, big action adventure. Yeah,
because I remember you hit me up about the table read, but I was going out of town or working on something. I appreciate you thinking of me for that table read.
Oh, yeah,
man.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Yeah, there's, at the end of the day, we're still looking for funding on some of this stuff. It's funny because people you hollered at in December that never returned your call are now like, hey, you still looking for? And be like, I mean, ironically, yes, but at the same time, like, what took you so long?
Right,
you know. So,
I'm just gonna go ahead and hit that lotto tonight, man, and just I got you covered. Dog.
I got my tickets. I bought 2 tickets. Anytime I go to someplace obscure, like out in
no man's land.
No, exactly. I buy where the heck was I? Oh, I went to Lake Passaic over the weekend, and I stopped at one of the gas stations, and they had like a wall of just winners. A bunch of winners. And so I was like, yeah, let me get 2 scratch offs, let me get a Mega Million, let me get a Powerball.
Yeah, man.
Because they're the ones who win.
Right.
Out here, you can't go to Hollywood.
You can't go to 7-Eleven.
They went on TV and they're like, and from Hollywood, California.
If you was to ever win, would you say anything about it?
Not until I got back from my vacations.
I wouldn't say nothing even when I got back.
Right.
People be like, man, he look kind of rich now for some reason. I'm like, I got a nice, I'm on this new series.
Right.
When does it come out? 2030.
I'd probably just, send my family a little, and they probably still would be like, that's not enough.
Right.
I
wouldn't. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. We would not say anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, man, because all of a sudden you got family you didn't know, you didn't speak to, you got best friends coming out the woodworks, and it's like, man, oh, here you go. So, yeah, man. And I got a soft heart, so I'd probably be like,
you got a podcast coming out too, or
no? We had a podcast and we started working on this a feature about it. So we got a script written, and we'll see if we can get that one off the ground because it's funny. It's a dark comedy, There's some podcasters that I'm trying to make it. I ain't gonna say too much, but definitely got that. What's the got the movie Picture Me Dead, and then of course see if I'm on a gang of Tubi. I got like 5-6 movies on there.
See, the thing about Tubi, you can be on Tubi, but it doesn't have to look like Tubi. Because, a lot of times, some years ago, Tubi movies is like, man, what the hell is this? But everybody has stepped their game up when it comes to the sound, the look, all of that, the scripts. Because back then, they was just throwing stuff out there just to throw stuff out there. But now...
And the crazy thing, though, them cats was making money.
Yeah.
Like, what? Because them barbershops be loving them movies.
Man.
You know what I mean? It's like, huh? How much y'all make? How much Okay, and it looks like it costs like they did it with their phone. They got everybody from down the street to do it, and they got the dude walking from a New York block all the way into the camera and be like, you could have just cut that little bit shorter.
like we had to get just at least an hour and 15 minutes.
There's no script. They keep on improv and like, yo, what we gonna do is we gonna rob this bank. That's right, we gonna rob this bank. Yeah, we gonna rob this bank. Then we gonna take the car. Yeah, we gonna take the car after we rob this bank. And you be like, yo. What's up with this dialogue, man? But you keep on watching because you be like, I know that hood.
Right. Well, man, I appreciate you coming, bro, and much success with everything. And your little director at the crib telling you how to book some shows. He ended up blowing up more than all of us.
Bruh, easy, hopefully, because, he either got to be smart, get that scholarship, or he gonna have a nice little piece of change saved up by the time he 18.
And again, where can people hit you up at?
Across all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Cisco Reyes, Cisco Reyes.
Well, you heard it from the man himself. Again, I appreciate you coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you guys watching the Baddest Goodest Show with Vincent M. Ward and my guest, Cisco Reyes.
Say hello to my little friend.
The Baddest Goodest Show is hosted by Vincent M. Ward. Our senior producer is Rick Barrio-Dill, associate producer Bree Corey, and assistant producer Larissa Donahue. Audio and video engineering and studio facilities provided by Slap Studios LA with distribution through our collective home for social progress in art, Slap the Network. If you would like to be a guest artist on The Baddest Goodest Show, drop us an email at info@baddestgoodest.com. Okay, baddies and goodies, we will see you next week on The Baddest Goodest Show.